Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com, Primal Athlete Training Center here in Cranston, Rhode Island. So today we are coming to you with another Technique Tuesday video to talk about the 9 o'clock drop position or the South African drill. Before we get to that, as you all should have seen on the Elite Throws Coaching Facebook page and the Primal Athlete Training Center Facebook page, we have gone live with registrations for our Pennsylvania overnight camp, which is happening this July 9th through the 11th. It's going to be out at Allegheny College once again. Allegheny is in Meadville, Pennsylvania, Western PA near Lake Erie. And I would say more than anything, the largest number of athletes that come to us for this camp have been referred to us by their coaches. And that says a lot. This is not a massive camp with 200-300 kids where every event is covered. This is going to be just shot put, discus, and javelin. So there's no running, there's no sprinting, there's no vaulting, there's no jumping. It is just for throwers, and we limit the number at 75 athletes. So the ratio of athletes to coaches is phenomenal. People that have gone in years past have ended up being USATF champions, state champions, county, regional champions. We have had a tremendous amount of success from this camp. So make sure to click the link below and get signed up. Now, moving on to that 9 o'clock drop South African position. See, last week we talked about, we had this thing on our back, and we talked about dropping into that mirror turn position. So dropping into the mirror turn position and then mirror turning and landing in a solid power position. What we're talking about today is actually driving into that position. Being able to drive and then land in that mirror turn position. Now, the way that we do this, the way that I like to teach it first, is by going through the 9 o'clock drop. There are some drills that you will see in next week's video that will help to clean this up and help it make more sense for your athletes. But I like to start them in that South African, in that 9 o'clock position. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So what you do is you take your trusty cardboard tube or whatever you have, broomstick, old javelin, old high jump crossbar, pole vault crossbar, pole vault pole, whatever you have lying around. You're going to take your athlete, put this on their back, and you're going to get their arms nice and long, just like we did last week. You're going to have them squat down. Now, I like to start with 1 foot inside the circle, 1 foot outside the circle. So let's consider the red inside the circle, the green outside the circle. Now, where do you put your feet? Well, if you start in the back of the circle here, you leave your left foot where it would be if you were getting ready to drive across that circle. From this position, you have your athlete squat down to a good, nice, athletic, ready position, and then you have them shift their weight onto their left foot, of course for a right-handed thrower. Shift your weight onto your left foot, and we're going to hold it here. Then I like to just get them to shift and pick up the right foot. Shift and pick up the right foot. Get them to realize what it means to have all their weight on the left foot. Now you can see what's happening. My shoulders are staying level. So a lot of times your athletes will start to do this, where they shift by throwing their head and throwing their shoulders. We want to shift and keep the shoulders nice and level. Okay? The next step from this position, this is what I call and what has been called the 9 o'clock drop. Mac Wilkins is the one famous for coining that term. So you are facing, for a right-handed thrower, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So you're facing 9 o'clock and you have all of your weight dropped down on that left leg. Shifted and dropped. You can see I'm trying to get my hip way outside of my foot. So instead of just having the hip over the ankle, my hip is way on the outside of the ankle so that I can pick up my right and get my weight over that left ankle. From here, what we are going to do is we are going to bound off of that left leg. We're going to explode off of that left leg into zero support. Zero support is when neither foot is on the ground, when we are in the air. Zero support is not a very long period of time. Zero support only exists for a short period of time, but it's a very important period of time, and that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. For today, we just want to identify that zero support exists and that we're driving into zero support correctly. So what you're going to do is have your athletes start in the back of the circle, tube or whatever, broomstick on their back. We're going to have them shift onto their left, shift onto their left, and then shift onto their left and drive. Shift and drive. Show you one more time. Shift, shift, shift and drive. One more time. Shift, shift, shift and drive. Now you can see zero support exists. Zero support is there, but for a split second of time. You'll also notice two other things as you teach your athletes this position. We'll show you from the side, but when you set up in the back of the circle, you don't have your feet right on top of each other. You have the right foot is a little bit outside your left foot. That way, as you drive, you're not going to kick yourself, you're not going to trip yourself up. You're going to drive out of the back and be able to get the foot, just like a soccer kick, get the foot to pass over the left foot. The other thing is that when you drive, you keep your body facing down that throwing sector as the right foot hits. So we're driving, shift, shift, shift and drive. Boom. Okay. Now the drill we're going to show you tomorrow is one that we have shown you in the past. It's a very important, great teaching tool, and it's really going to tie this together. But for this week, concentrate on having your athletes shift their weight over the left when they're in the back of the circle, and then get them ready to time it so that they can shift and then shift and explode off of that left leg into zero support, landing on their power foot, on their right foot. Hopefully this explains the breakdown, the progression from moving from the mirror turn into that 9 o'clock drop or that South African position. Now, what you're going to notice here is that there still is a lot of steps left. The back of the circle is a very important part of the throw. Most of the mistakes for high school and college athletes are going to happen in the back of the circle. The reason for that is simple. We do a lot of standing throws in practice. We do a lot of mirror turns in practice. Then we start to move into South Africans. Then we do fulls. We need to work on the back of the circle more often so that our athletes get more comfortable in the back of the circle. That's where the majority of this playlist and the majority of these Technique Tuesday videos are going to take place. We're going to be talking about the 9 o'clock drop, the South African position, and we're going to be talking about turning out of the back. Very important technical parts of this throw, and those are also parts where if you mess them up, it's going to affect everything else that happens after that in the front of the circle. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you're interested in coming to the camp at Allegheny College, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York people, I'm talking to you, make sure to click the link down below, get signed up. This sells out every year. This year we've upped the amount of registrations that we're going to take. Guaranteed it's going to sell out again. Make sure to click the link below, and I'll see you in Pennsylvania in July.